The reason to go is a whole bunch of reasons, obviously, the weather being one of them, but it's very easy to train down there, and we end up actually training in open air gyms, which is okay. And we had, I guess, 5 or 6, I don't remember off the top of my head, really quality training sessions down there. I know everybody thinks we go down just hang around the beach and do our thing, and there's a little bit of that goes on too. That's part of it. But certainly the training was very good. We played 2 matches against UPR. Won the first night 3-0, lost the second night 3-1, 35-33 in the fourth set. Some really good quality defensive play, which is something we've not really had in the last couple of years. So I'm real pleased with that side of it. Certainly there are many facets of the game that we got to continue to work on, from especially serving and blocking, those two in particular. But there were some very good bright spots. In particular, Phil Peterson, who's really struggled physically, played very well the second night. The leadership of Ivan Matos was very good. Of course, Corey Frayne is very steady, and JW. I always have trouble pronouncing his last name, but Kikefer is what I say, and they don't necessarily like for me to say it like that. But he played very well. So there's some very good bright spots on this team. We have some young kids that are going to be good. Elon Fifield was very good the first night, struggled a little bit the second night, but that's okay. And if you survive a little bit and get better every day and progress towards the end of the year, where in our case you always get to play in the conference tournament, which means you have a chance to qualify for the NCAA tournament, that's our goal. And so we didn't set real lofty goals in regards to our performance and play down there, because we had 5 practices, and actually 3 practices and played, and then had a couple more and played again. So when you only have 6 or 7 practices and you've had 2 months off, expectations aren't real high. But that's okay, because you have to have a starting point somewhere. And all the things I alluded to earlier, and the fact that we built some really good team camaraderie and had a chance to physically train, as I said, as compared to being in the cold weather, the warm weather, you can actually do some physical training. We do some training on the beach, do a whole bunch of stuff that way as well. I think it's a real positive, and came away with a real good feeling about the potential of this team. George Mason has a significant number of players back, and they have a couple of very big kids in the middle that played last year. But they graduated a really good opposite, and they've got a couple kids that are supposedly still suspended from some activities from last year. So I don't really know a lot about them. We'll know more about St. Francis on Saturday, because Ball State plays them Friday, and then we exchange information, so that helps us a little bit. So I don't know a lot about them, and as I told the kids yesterday, this part of the season, because we're going to play George Mason and St. Francis, and they come right back here the next weekend, which is a real nice scenario, I think, for all 4 programs, because you get to play non-conference, you kind of get a feel for a little bit what your team's going to be like, and it's not significant within the conference, let alone the opportunity of the NCAA. So we're not really concerned about George Mason. We're concerned about IPFW. And we're just trying to build on the things that we saw out of Puerto Rico to make us better for the weekend.